If I could turn back the clocks and give advice to my younger teenage self, this would be all the advice that I would give. If you're new here, a very warm welcome to my channel. My name is James. I show you guys normally travel tips and share travel advice and inspiration with you. This video is a little bit different because, as you might know if you've watched my previous video, I've just moved from England to Germany, and this has been a huge change in my life, and I'm taking you guys with me on this journey. I want to share everything with you, and a big part of this is reflection and thinking all about the past and how it's got to this point. And this led me to the thoughts thinking, well, what advice would I have given to my younger self if I could? Now this is going to be a little bit of a nostalgic video, so make sure to grab yourself a hot drink. I've got a coffee. Now it is late afternoon, so I shouldn't really be having a coffee, but I need to keep myself going in my day and keep working. That's really important for me. So make sure to grab yourself a tea, a hot chocolate, a coffee, whatever it might be. And just sit back, relax, and enjoy this video. And I hope that you guys can relate to some of what I say during this video as well. By the way, I made a pumpkin spice latte because it is pumpkin spice season. And this tastes so good. I totally recommend. You can just do it at home. Like, screw all this Starbucks and everything where you have to pay like £5-6 for a drink. I literally just do it at home, and I'm probably spending like 50p on this coffee with pumpkin spice syrup. It tastes so good. I totally recommend you guys do this as well. I think one of my biggest pieces of advice is surrounding my anxiety. I was diagnosed about 2-3 years ago with depression and anxiety disorder. And obviously having these levels of anxiety has made my life extremely hard. And especially with this move abroad from England to Germany, you can just imagine the levels of anxiety whizzing through me, through my body. You know, it feels sometimes like it's absolutely crazy, honestly, what I've gone through. But that would be my advice to my younger self. It would just be to say, you know, during my teenage years, I had lots of emotions, lots of crazy emotions. It was like riding a roller coaster. You didn't know which way it was going to turn next. And I feel like that's what I would say to my younger self, is just try and just try and enjoy the ride. Like, as hard as it is to say that in retrospect, just try and enjoy the ride. Try and stay in the roller coaster car, just try and stay on the tracks, just keep going, because at some point things will get better, and at some point the jigsaw pieces will start to slot together and the puzzle will start to become complete. And I think that's one of the biggest pieces of advice I would just ever share with myself. And I say this now, and I'm still a warrior, I'm still a panicker as it is, so I wish I could really implement that, but I do feel like I've got better at it, and I feel like that is really what I would tell myself. Just going through school, it was a hard time. I'm going to get onto that in a little bit as we talk a little bit more about my school years, but I do feel like that was just something for me that I would really say is just try and stay on the roller coaster ride. It is a roller coaster, things are difficult. If you're in your school years yourself, uni, whatever it may be, or you're older and you're working a job, you know, times are stressful. The times we live in right now are crazy. Things have never been harder for people, and you know, you really feel that within society, and it does make it a lot harder, but just know that things will start to slot together. And I think that's really important, to try and spread some positivity among all the negativity which is being circulated at the moment. Okay, so moving on to talk a little bit about my time in primary, secondary school, and then into college, into sixth form. I think my biggest piece of advice to my younger self would be, don't work yourself so hard. I know it sounds stupid, but there is so much pressure, especially in the UK, within the educational system, to get good grades, to really perform and then go to university. Now, I did go to university, I'm currently at university, but it's not essential. If you want to go on a different path, go on a different path. If you want to try and become a self-employed creator, content creator, whatever it may be, then do it. If you want to go into a work experience, work placement, do it. Don't feel pressured by society to do the traditional, conventional way, because going to uni, you just rack up debts. Like, I'm going to be honest with you guys, going to uni is not a walk in the park, it's not that fun, and I haven't learned that much. From my 2 years in uni, doing my degree, my German and business degree, I haven't learned that much. Most of what I've learned, I've taught myself. Yes, at the end of the day, I'll get a piece of paper with a qualification, but everything I've learned along the way, I've actually mostly taught myself, and I think that's really important. I wanted to share with you guys, and I think that's what I would say within my school years and my primary and secondary school years. I was always really working hard to get perfect grades in school, and I put so much pressure on myself, which probably was driven by my inner anxiety and stress. But you know what, at the end of the day, was that really worth it? Was it worth all that stress? I mean, I'm happy with how I did, but I just wish at the end of the day that it had been 5-10% less stressful for me along the way, because that would have made such a big difference to be able to enjoy my life a little bit more. And talking about school, that leads me on to the idea and concept of friendships, because friendships is always something that is really difficult for people while they're in school, while they're in university. And what I would tell my younger self is don't hold on too hard to friendships or even to relationships. I was always someone who was so desperate to get into a relationship. And you know what? Trying to really hold too tight, it just makes everything go splat. It makes everything just go up in the air and at the end of the day explode. And I think that would be my biggest advice to my younger self, would be don't try too hard for friendships, because people come and go out of your life. I'm so glad to have the communities that I have on social media, but I do appreciate that some people will come, and I hope you guys really do love my content, but I also appreciate that some people will go. And that's life. It's the same with friendships, and I wish that I told my younger self that, because I had a lot of arguments in school with different people, and I would try and cling on so hard to friendships. Some things would blow up when we didn't get on, but you just gotta sometimes accept that not everyone clicks, not everyone gets on with each other. That is just the way the world is. We all have different personalities, we all have different mindsets, and it's so nice to find people that we harmonize with, but we've got to appreciate that that's not always going to work out. And I think especially in school, it's really hard to kind of not realize that, because you're kind of divided up into these classes and groups, and you feel like you really need to find people to be able to get on, to have a nice time. But just learn to enjoy your own company, which is what I've worked on, and I've really got better at just enjoying my own company, getting to know myself better, and just working on myself rather than worrying about all these people around you. And that would be one of my biggest pieces of advice for my younger self, but also to you guys as well. If you do struggle with these feelings of kind of like anxieties towards separation anxieties especially. And finally, the thing I wanted to talk about is about just being yourself and really being confident in yourself. Because as I grew up, I was so nervous to be myself. I was so nervous to come out and express my sexuality. And that is something that I really regret, because it wasn't until I was about 19, 20 years old that to my family, I came out, and that wasn't even intentional, guys. That was an accident. So can you imagine that? And I know the world of social media and real life, there are people who hate, and, people might hate on me and say, whatever, like, about my sexuality. But you know what? At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. You've got to be confident in yourself, and once you admit who you are and understand who you are better, once you understand yourself better, then you'll be able to be more comfortable with yourself, and you'll be able to start enjoying your life, and you'll just be able to get to know yourself so much better rather than hiding away behind a curtain. It's so important, and I wish this society would become more accepting. That is something that I did really struggle with in school and sixth form, etc. If I just managed to be more confident in myself, then I might have really managed to enjoy those years. So that would be a massive piece of advice I would give to my younger self. And if there's any of you guys out there struggling, then, always feel free to message me. You can turn to me, and I do want us to be able to support you guys, because that is something that I struggled with, and I think that no one should have to struggle. No one should feel alone when they're doing this journey. So it's really important, and I do encourage you guys to reach out to someone. It doesn't have to be me, it can be friends, family. Just trust someone, confide in someone, or a therapist as well, because I've been doing a lot of therapy and that has helped me so much. So that would be a big piece of advice that I would give to my younger self, or to you if you are needing it right now. Okay guys, so that's all for today's video. I hope this did give you a little insight to how I'm feeling with my life right now in the current volatile situation that we're in. A little bit of advice that I would give to my younger self or to you guys if you're struggling as well. Do leave a comment down below if you want to chat a little bit more about the themes that I've raised today in this video. And if you did enjoy this video, please do give a like and please leave a subscribe on my channel. I really appreciate your support. Welcome to my community. It's lovely to have you here, and I hope that we can just continue to build this bond together, because I'm really enjoying content creation right now and I'm really enjoying sharing all of my ideas, tips and advice with you guys, and this has become such a big part of my life. So let's keep it going. Let's keep this amazing community going, and yeah, I really look forward to seeing you guys in the next video.